Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vitvishavahaigi Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Hari Om. Welcome to this episode of Chinmaya Yoga. We are looking into the book by Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda. The title of the book is A Manual of Self-Unfoldment. How our life unfolds from within, what are the means and what are the ways for that. That is the topic. So after having discussed about Ahimsa, Satya and Brahmacharya as the three pillars in our life. Ahimsa means non-injury to others. Satya means speaking what is within, having a dharmic way of thinking in the mind and expressing the thought without is called Satya. Brahmacharya is control of the sense organs. When we practice all these three, a tremendous force of energy gathers with us. And once that force of energy gathers, it is very important what we do with that. If there is very high energy and we do not give it the right direction in life, then it can torment our life like many great people who had tremendous potential, tremendous energy, like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, or even Hitler in the modern days, where the type of thinking they had was very destructive, and so it ended up harming themselves and the world around them. So it is very important that we give the right direction to our energy through work. And what is that? Today's topic is skill in action is yoga. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. The efficiency with which I do a work, where my mind is completely absorbed in the work and the body is silently moving in tune with the work that needs to be done, is called yoga karmasu kaushalam, which is called yoga. Gurudev says, having developed will, energy, and right attitude for action by the practice of Satyam, Brahmacharya, and Ahimsa, a person can still be a failure in life if he does not have the efficiency to develop the talents in himself and then funnel out his available competency in the field of action. So it is not important, not just important to live a good life, live a controlled life, and be a good person and all that. It is very important to cultivate talents, to cultivate good talents, whether it can be the play of music, whether it can be the a play of some sport, towards a talent that is directed towards a very high goal. Puja Gurudev gives us the example of nature in this regard. How is the nature that we see around us? It is very prompt and efficient. This promptness and efficiency and skill in action is a very rare commodity these days. Many employers, they say, even though the students are educated in many good educational institutions, even though they get very high marks, unfortunately, they are very unemployable. Unemployable means if you give them a work to do, it cannot be completed for many reasons known only to them. That is called unemployability. The graduation may be there, the degree may be there, great marks may be there, but unfortunately, the skill of action that expresses through the body is completely cut off from the skill or knowledge that we get through our educational system. This skill has to be developed from childhood, taking up an action, focusing on the action, completing the action, taking up the next action, focusing on the action, completing the action. Only if this practice is done throughout our lifetime, only then skill in action is possible. So in nature, there is efficiency in the movements of the plants, and in the happening movement of the plants means the plants, though they don't move from place to place, in their own place where they are, very high level of movement is happening throughout the day and through the night. That is why we may go to sleep, and in the morning we see that the flowers have bloomed. All the activities have happened during night time. So there is efficiency in the movement of the plants and the happenings and performance in the mineral and the plant kingdom. Added to these nowadays, man congratulates himself at the efficiency of his scientific knowledge, mathematical precision, thoroughness of the inexorable natural instincts, although found to be very efficient. This efficiency is not the main thing. The efficiency that is found in man in terms of, you know, bringing up so many things in life, in conjuring so many scientific equipment and conjuring so many vehicles, mass production in the factories. This is not the kind of efficiency that yoga is talking about. Skill in action is yoga. The universe is moving in a rhythm. Nothing in the universe, whether it can be the cloud or the sky or the mountain, if you really go to some mountainous place where a river flows, in the whole scenery you can see that the river is flowing, the mountain is present, the trees and plants are growing, the birds are flying, the clouds are moving, everything is doing its own thing without injuring the other, without infiltrating into the space of the other. They coexist so beautifully in nature. Efficiency of like Gurudev says, it is not that there is no efficiency in the machinery, but that kind of efficiency is not something that can take us close to ourselves. The more we have gadgets, the more we use gadgets, the more we spend time with gadgets, the more we use comforts in our life, physical comforts, material comforts, more we get used to outside power supply and all the comforts that the power supply can bring to us, the more and more we lose our own energy. There is a very nice author, a Russian author called Vladimir Zeland. He has written he's a he's a physicist. What is it called? There is a non-material physicist. I do not know what that name is right now. Nuclear physicist, or it's called quantum physicist. This Vladimir Zeland, and his book is sold in Russian language in millions. It's also translated in English. The name of the book is Reality Transurfing. And in the book, he explains a beautiful concept called pendulum. Everything in this universe, in the form of knowledge, in the form of information, is functioning like a pendulum. Whether you take electricity, whether you take fans, air conditioners, refrigerators, all the gadgets that we use, mobile phone, big industries, big companies, big agencies, big governments, big thoughts, big organizations, big service organizations, individually also small groups of pendulums are there. And what is the nature of this pendulum is, whoever is there in the ambit of this pendulum, we think that we are getting energy from the fan, or we are getting energy from the air conditioner. It is moving, it is giving us strength and energy. Unfortunately, every equipment functions by drawing our energy. The mobile phone is an example. We think that the greater the swiping technology, the old phones like the ringing phones, the dialing phones, and the old mobile phones, we think they are not so good enough. We think every technology development is so good for us. More and more these technologies come, more and more we swipe. We are actually using our personal energy, our quantum of energy, our stock of energy, we use to run those gadgets. They're all dependent on our energy. Phones nowadays are dependent on the energy that is coming from our eyes. So much close it has become to our own physical energy that we are not aware that how much of energy is constantly draining from us just by talking on the phone for a long time, just by swiping all the time, just by dialing and just by googling, or just by surfing, just by sitting in front of the internet, or just by using cars and other modern day conveniences of transport. We are losing our energy a great deal. There is a lot of difference between the person who is just simply walking hands free and enjoying the breeze and enjoying the scenery around, and a person who's going by car. The maximum energy drainage happens when we use technology. The happenings in the mineral world are strictly according to the incorrigible physical laws. The performances of the plant kingdom are ordered by the natural laws that regulate them. The animal kingdom acts and functions, impelled by the impulses and self preservation, and the rhythm of their actions is the law of survival of the fittest. So, whether it's a plant kingdom, or the animal kingdom, or the stone kingdom, mineral kingdom, they are all functioning according to their dharma. Whatever is their nature, whatever is their duty, they just express that, and they don't have a choice. We don't know if they are content or not content. We have not seen into their minds. But considering what all our scriptures say, everything in the universe is very content to rest in Bhagwan. One of the Upanishads says, Dhyayati va prithvi, Dhyayati va parvataha. It, the mountains are meditating. The ocean, the earth is meditating. So it is in contrast with the efficiencies, we notice in the mineral realm, plant realm, and the animal realm that we propose to discuss the efficiency in man. So here this talk is not about the efficiency in all these realms. They are functioning at their highest potential. It is so high that no scientist can invent, he can create water, no scientist can create soil, no scientist can create a mountain as it is, no scientist can create life. It is all done, it is all already fixed and already engineered, manufactured, and given to us. Out of that only we take and do our own manufacture. So we can never outwit God, we can never outwit the universe, we can never outwit Prakriti or nature, which has already manufactured everything, the raw materials for our use. I forgot about this. So, here within the ambit of law, the intellect, the rational intellect in man opens up to him so much of power for controlling, regulating, and detecting. One, please. So much power for controlling, regulating, and detecting. So much of within the ambit of law of the rational intellect of man opens up to him so much of the power of controlling, regulating, detecting his natural faculties that he can develop greater efficiency. The glow of this efficiency is the secret power behind the stupendous achievements of man and his entire glory of life. So, what is efficiency? Gurudev says, efficiency in us is the freedom to set up willfully our own inherent abilities and capacities which we exhibit in the fields of our actions. So, if I have the capacity to play music, to play some musical instrument, efficiency will be how much I practice so well that I pay attention to the music, to the notes, and to the constant regular practice, so that when I sit in front of a group of people, I'm not really struggling with the instrument, or I'm not really struggling with the notes, or I'm not really struggling about how to get the music. It is just coming and flowing freely. In the language of the rishis, the technique of efficiency is known as yoga. It's a very, very simple word. We have been searching for the meaning of yoga. What is yoga? Yoga is when the thought and the feeling come together, then all excellence is possible. Everything becomes very efficient when the thought and the feeling comes together. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam is in the chapter 2, verse 50 of the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned. Dexterity in action is yoga. A person like Einstein is recognized as a genius in the West. But in yogic parlance, a genius is not born. A genius can be created right from childhood or from whenever we desire to live a very yogic life. When we give the right inputs into our personality, controlling the senses, controlling the physical body, controlling the intellect, or rather than controlling, managing and channelizing very beautifully. What are the three steps? If you Gurudev has given a very modern explanation for yoga, what are the three steps to get that efficiency that we desire? Generating dynamism. In me, I should generate energy. There is energy without, there is energy within. We are living mostly by the energy without, but the energy within is directing our life on its own without even our consideration or thought. But when we focus more, we can generate that energy. We can generate that energy within. What are the many ways of doing generating that energy? Practicing hatha yoga, practicing pranayama, practicing meditation, practicing concentration, focusing on work, focusing on the work that we need to do at this moment, and detaching ourselves from the identity as I am the doer of the work, and when the results of the work come, it is I who's going to enjoy the results, detaching from that identity and giving the credit, the doership of the work to Bhagavan or the Creator, who has, there is nothing wrong. The Creator has made us, the Creator has created us. And when we are doing something, what is the problem in giving the credit to the Creator instead of just taking? And when we give the credit to the Creator, it is not the Creator that benefits by it. It is only us that benefits because our efficiency becomes manifold when we function with giving up the identity as the doer of the work and the enjoyer of the work. And then the other way is bhakti yoga or the yoga of love. Whatever I see, it can be an object, it can be a person, or it can be a situation. Interact with love. Let only love come through my expressions, through my speech, through my hands, through my feet. When I walk around, walk with love. When I do some work, doing with love. When I speak something, speaking with love. When I think something, thinking with love. When I feel for others, feeling full of love. When this happens, generation of dynamism is happening in our system. Once this dynamism is generated, Gurudev says dynamism is very, very important. Dynamism, the faculties of powers through latent, though latent, cannot find expression in a small boy because it has to just develop. But in a youth, in a very dynamic youth, it is expressed completely. And so when the youth, they channelize their energy into the right direction, they can create history, generating dynamism, conserving the dynamism or energy that is so created, and then redirecting that energy into chosen fields of endeavor. These are the three steps. Generating vitality or dynamism, irrespective of the state or condition one is. I might not be in a very comfortable state to be in a good mood. Even as simple a thing as being in a good mood, it may not be possible in the surrounding situation. But still, I can take up the responsibility. The key to generating all this, the key to doing all this is taking charge of my life. Instead of saying that my life is happening like this because somebody is doing, because somebody is not doing this, because somebody is irritating me, because somebody is working against me, because somebody is talking ill of me, because somebody is scheming against me or manipulating me. We can give hundreds of reasons for not doing things the way we want to do. But there's only one reason for being able to do something, and that is taking up responsibility. When I say I am responsible, if I want to keep my premises neat and tidy, when I take up the responsibility, whether other people help me or don't help me, it doesn't matter, the place will be clean because it is my responsibility. I'm not dependent on anybody. Because I'm not dependent on anybody, my energy is not wasted with fighting with someone or arguing with someone or convincing someone to do something that I want them to do. It is not wasted in all these directions, and I'm able to do what I want to do and progress higher and higher in my life, generating vitality and dynamism. Conservation of the vitality so generated. Conservation happens through brahmacharya, which means control of all the sense organs: eyes, ears, nose, smell, and skin. Conservation of energy, again in the Yoga Sutras, a very important method is given, which is already discussed in these columns. But again, once more, let's see. It is the four factors. It is very, very important. It is so important that even in Jivan Mukti Viveka, the highest knowledge about liberation, it is a text by Vidyaranya Swami. He has quoted profusely from the Yoga Sutras, and he has quoted profusely from this particular sutra, which is very, very important in our life. What is that? Maitri Karuna Mudita Upeksha Sukha Dukkha Punya Apunyanam. So if my energy has to be conserved, how should I respond in life? This has been handled earlier in a separate episode called Four Responses. In this channel, you can always go through the earlier episodes. Every episode contains nugget of wisdom from the Yoga Sutras, and from Gurudev's perspective of how to organize our lives towards success. So every episode of this Chinmaya Yoga series and the earlier series, Motivation series, which is coming since January, is very precious in this regard. So Maitri, Karuna. So in our life, we are just having to deal with two groups of people. One group of people are our own family members, people who are all very close to us, our relatives and our members of the family, and also those people whom we have chosen as friends or partners in our life. So they are all coming under this closed. Uh, it is not about the people who are all just coming into our lives due to our work or other consequences, but it is the people who are very closely, whom we closely interact with. So they can give us joy, they can give us sorrow. When somebody very close to me, one of my family members or one of my very close friends, is giving me joy, I express with Maitri Bhava. I express with the feeling of friendship. When somebody in my close family, somebody who's very close to me, gives me sorrow, I express karuna or compassion. When compassion is not feeling pity for the other, feeling in what way I can help this person. This person is really disturbed and distressed, and so he is causing distress and disturbance to me, to my mind. In what way can I be of help to this person? Find out that way and act on that possibility. Then that person disturbance will cease. The person will stop disturbing you because that person is not disturbed in his life, and he has got the strength, the energy and the capacity to take care of his own self very well and help others too. So Maitri and Karuna for people in our personal lives who give us sukha, that is joy, or dukkha, which is sorrow. Then the next category, if we do this, why this is being said is, these are ways by which I can keep my mind calm in different circumstances. Why it is being said is, if I do this, if I respond in this way, my mind will be calm. So friendship, don't we know that we have to be friendly with nice people? Even then, we don't need to get into the excess of anything. Maitri Bhava means just being a friend, being there for that person when they need your help as a support and as a strength, and allow that person to be there for you. That's it. There's nothing more, there's no more excitement to the whole thing. Excitement is one way by which our mind loses energy, maitri, karuna. The other category is public life. In public life, we can see people who do punya karma, people who do good actions, people who do noble actions that generate a lot of prosperity in society, a lot of goodwill in society, a lot of intelligence in society, or a lot of happiness in society. Whatever good thing that they do comes under punya karma. When people do such things, mudita, express joy. Wow, you've done a great job. Wonderful. Keep it up. And there ends the matter. There's nothing delving upon it because we have our own work to do in our life. Our life is not, we are here for a particular purpose. We have a mission in life. Other people's mission is not our mission all the time. Common folks, everybody, one person can be a great cricketer, one person can be a great chess player, one person can be a very great social servant, one person can be a very great civil servant, one person can be a great storyteller, one person can be a great comedian. Everybody is doing their job and they're all doing their punya karma. Whatever actions they do, which is generating joy in the world, is punya karma. You be very happy, you express your joy. It is also because we will not feel jealousy. Though we like to do punya karma ourselves, we may not be in a position to do all the time. When somebody does, the tendency to feel jealous is there. So instead of feeling jealous, express joy, rejoice in the other people, rejoice in their actions, in what they do. Then the mind will be peaceful. When somebody does apunya karma, meaning they can either be lazy or they can be doing too many negative activities in society which are not healthy for society, which are harming society, then we should just lend a blind eye. Patanjali Maharishi says, ignore, upeksha. Even Gurudev has spoken about these qualities of maitri and all that in one point in self-unfoldment and hasten slowly. So upeksha is just ignore completely. Don't pay attention to that. Don't give your power to that. Don't give your energy to that. In whatever way we pay attention, whether we praise somebody and pay attention, or whether we talk ill of somebody or criticize somebody and pay attention, the attention has got no difference. It's just a natural commodity. It will go to that person and it will enrich that person whom we are thinking about. And if they are doing apunya karma, if they are doing actions which are not good, then it will enrich further. We will become the means, the reason for which they are all able to do their unwanted actions, or they are able to maintain their laziness by thinking about them, by scolding them, by criticizing them, by talking ill of them to others. We are just energizing them. So the contrary means would be upeksha, completely ignore. These are the ways by which we can conserve the vitality that is so generated. And then finally, it is very important not only to generate vitality and conserve it, and also to channelize in the right goal, towards a chosen goal. What is the chosen goal? Chosen goal can be something small. It can be something that for my own benefits, in my own house, in my own factory, in my own company. Or the chosen goal can be for my country, or the chosen goal can be for the world, or the chosen goal can be for Ishvara, for Bhagavan, for God, or the highest ideal in this universe. It can be anything. Depending on what we want to do, we have to keep the goal very high. Generation of enthusiasm will take place. Gurudev says, when your goal is very high, Generation of enthusiasm will take place when we discover for ourselves a goal and attach ourselves to the altar with a spirit of dedication, reverence, and love. Even the Patanjali Yoga Sutra says, what is abhyasa? Satu dirghakala, for a long period of time. Nairantarya, continuously. Satkara. Satkara means with a lot of respect. Asevita, with full attention and love. Drida bhumihi, whatever we practice will become very steady. Once we have surrendered ourselves to it, the ideal itself will provide us with the inspiration and strength. We see so many people like Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King, or even in our own generation, we can have so many examples like that. Where do these people get the energy? They may not be going to gyms, they may not be working out, they may not be doing any exercise or anything, but tremendous energy is pouring through them throughout the day. They are so inspired. Where is that inspiration coming? When the goal is very high, the goal is constantly providing the inspiration from within. It is like a spring of energy that is there within us. The love for the ideal will overcome and vanquish all hurdles. When we have a Shreyamsi, Bahu Vignani, when we have a goal, there are many, many obstacles to those goals. And some people, fearing obstacles, they don't take up any goal or any other project also. Some people meet with the obstacles, they conquer them. Some people don't even start. Some people start and leave it midway because of the obstacles. When obstacles are the things that show up, when love for the ideal is forgotten, when my love for the goal is forgotten, then I begin to see all obstacles in my life. Love for the ideal will overcome and vanquish all hurdles. From the ideal, one can draw inexhaustible dynamism and strength. No sacrifice will be felt too great for the sake of the ideal. And if it comes to that, life itself will be cast off with a smile in dedication to that altar. We have Gurudev quotes the example of Bhagat Singh. There are so many freedom fighters who've just given up their life for the ideal of freedom. It is because of all over, then Gurudev wants us about comforts in our life. Comforts come as a guest and then they empower us and they begin to be our hosts. All over, we have comforts to economize our precious energy, and yet we complain that we have no energy at all. You see, the people who are complaining about no energy are the people who are all living very comfortable situations, comfortable circumstances, who have everything at their disposal, and yet they begin to complain. It is because comfort causes disturbance of the mind. The mental unrest, which is the outcome of having no goal to aspire, comfort does not cost. When we indulge in the comfort and we are very happy about the comfort, there is a very beautiful song in Sanskrit. Manasa satatam smaraniyam vachasa satatam vadaniyam lokahitam mama karaniyam lokahitam mama karaniyam. Then it says, that is, I should always think with my mind, whatever I speak, I should always do good to the world. That is the theme of the song. Then it says, Najatu dukkham gananiyam. Don't keep counting your sorrows, they will increase. Nacha nija saukhyam mananiyam. You should not be, wow, everything is so beautiful in my life. Everything is very happy. Everything is comfortable. Don't keep reveling in that comfort also. Then, na bhoga bhavane ramaniyam, na bhoga bhavane. Don't indulge in living. You can live in luxury. You can live like King Janaka in the lap of luxury. But you don't need to indulge in all that. You don't need to be talking about them. You don't need, in this world, you see many people, they talk about their mobile phones, their watches and other gadgets as if it is some beloved member of their family. That is what it means. Na bhoga bhavane ramaniyam nacha nija saukhyam mananiyam karya kshetre tvaraniyam lokahitam mama karaniyam karyakshetre tvaraniyam. You should not count your blessings. Count your blessings for your own self. When you're feeling down and low, counting your blessings can uplift your spirit. But all the time, wow, I'm so blessed because of that. I'm so blessed because of this. Not only I'm so blessed, we forget that everybody is blessed. And only when we feel that we are blessed, it is a big problem. So comfort can give us mental unrest, which is the outcome of having no goal to inspire us to look up to. Our goal is somehow or the other. Very interesting, Gurudev says, how people function in life now, whether it's in government office or whether it's in service organizations also, our goal is somehow or the other, do the least work and get the maximum. When such a negative thought comes, however much we are well looked after, we will still be the most unhappy men in the world. Because in the sannyasa Purna Kumbha mantra, Om na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amritatvamanushubhu na karmana, by doing actions, or praja, by all the people that we are surrounded with, or with the wealth that we are surrounded with, we are not going to experience freedom. Only by tyaga. And what is it, tyaga? We have life energy within us, and giving out that life energy in the most constructive manner, in the manner that will benefit our country, our state, our people, our family, our friends, and our society. When we are constantly giving out energy in a very constructive manner, in a very diligent way, with all love, gratitude, and respect, then we are going to be very successful in our life in this world, and all joy at all times is with us. We experience the fountain of joy, the source of joy in our lives. With this, we conclude this chapter, and we'll begin with the next chapter of a manual for self-unfoldment next week. Om 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 Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Bole Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai Hari Om.